Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spoonie Files. This is Sandra, aka Kitty from Kitty Speaks. I am here today with a midweek edition, or actually it's the end of the week. It's Friday. TGIF. But I just thought of something. If you're disabled, the fact that it's Friday doesn't really mean as much to us. We get cheated out of the weekends. I'm just realizing this. No, like, think about it. No, for real, seriously. Okay, so I've been disabled for a very long time. I actually got told I was disabled 10 years before I actually stopped working. But I've been on disability for maybe like 12 years or 13 years or something like that now. So Monday through Friday, like, I generally, most of the time, I may not know what day of the week it is. So, like, of all the other things that we get cheated out of just from being spoonies, we also get cheated out of the weekends. That's kind of messed up. I'm thinking about that because I'm thinking about, like, her name, okay, right? Catheter free. I can't say that on my beauty channel. I can't say the word catheter. That would be, like, you know, politically incorrect to even use the word. But I can say that here with you guys, and it's not a big problem. So that's just like another injustice that we get treated to, that we all know what catheters are, and it's like normal for us. That it's just like totally not politically incorrect to use that word in polite conversation. Like, that's messed up. We get like treated to a lot of injustice being disabled. Like, I really don't want to admit to you guys, but I'm like all for being 100, and in the interest of keeping it 100, I'm going to admit that sometimes I have to wear adult diapers. So, that's just, you know, for those of you who have a catheter all the time, I'm just evening the playing field by saying, you know, I go through a similar problem my own self. Because I have Crohn's disease. And so, you know, mine ain't even, never mind. I can't get all that deep into it with you guys, but just know that I love you enough to even have this conversation. But anyway, cat free, like, I just went all off just based on her name. That's messed up. Let's just get into it so I can stop this embarrassing line of conversation. So let's see. She says, what do you do when a close family member, not a dependent or partner, but someone who supports practically and has seen me through 2 years of severe IC, turns on you in raw red rage and anger? How do you react and respond when your fatigue is misinterpreted as laziness, your pain as apathy, your struggle as a deliberate attack on this person who supposedly loves you? I'm heartbroken and have internalized all the rage. I didn't shout back. They shouted. I stayed silent. The hurt went inside me. I understand compassion fatigue. Chronic illness is hard on your close supporters. They all deserve a medal for what they freely give to help us. Yet here was someone taking back the kindness I had given and saying I did not care about the impact of that my illness has on those around me. What chance do I have with the outside world when this is one of my closest people? Do I just need to be more compassionate myself about the demands this severe bladder pain places on those around me as well as on me? Or do I try to stand up for myself? Buy them a book on the spoon theory? I feel heartbroken. If you have been where I am, please share it with me. I just feel so F-bomb alone with it, and reduced instead of rejuvenated, washed out instead of cleansed and purified. How do I escape this negativity when I rely on this person who is so close to me and crave what has become absent? Sympathy. How do I re-explain that this illness is not my fault and I would do anything to take it away or deal with it better, but I am only me on my own, doing my best. My best is not good enough. Those were the hashtags. I think that you can agree with me why that question was so important. It's a really intense topic of conversation. Now, I want to respond by saying, first off, that we need to recognize that not everybody is cut out to be a caregiver. That's number one. It is a very hard position to put yourself in, to decide to step outside of your own personal needs and put someone else's needs above your own. It's a very hard thing to do. And for those who do it, we love and appreciate that care so much more than we could ever express. And I feel what you're saying. It gets to be a feeling of, am I constantly having to express how much I appreciate you? Am I constantly having to kiss your patootie, bending over backwards to show my gratitude in order for you to know that I'm grateful? Because sometimes it seems that they can forget that we are grateful for what they do. But it's exhausting what we have to do. So there are two sides to this coin. Okay, so let me talk about their side first. They have to give us enemas. They have to bathe us. They have to change our clothes. They fix our meals. They do our personal hygiene. They take us to the doctor. They pick up our medications. They, have to travel with us when we have to have surgeries because we can't drive ourselves. They're intermediaries with the doctor's office so that we can make sure that we understand everything that was said in case we forget something that, that may have been said. Sometimes they make those doctor's appointments for us. My caregiver, I know, when he goes to pick up my prescriptions, they refer to him as Mr. Jones. He's my boyfriend and we're not married, but in any event, Jones is my maiden name. But when he walks in the door, it's, hey, Mr. Jones. They do a lot for us. Probably more than I'm even naming. Probably things that I can't even imagine what they go through. All those appointments or things that we can't do, engagements that we've been invited to that we can't attend, well, they can't attend either. So their social life is stunted because our social life is stunted. They go through a lot, and they voluntarily chose to give all that up because they love us. But the reality is that is a lot. And it takes a toll. And even though a person may voluntarily say that they want to do that because they love you so much, it could get to be so much that they just can't do it anymore. And some people aren't cut out for it in the first place. Even though they love you, the very first time they have to miss something that they were looking forward to because you can't go when they need to be with you, or when they have to rearrange their work schedule around your doctor's appointments or your surgeries or your hospitalizations, all of these things take a toll. And so they might love you immensely, but is love enough? Okay? And from our perspective, let's talk about our perspective. Obviously, we need someone in that role. Obviously, there's those things we cannot do for ourselves. When you go to have surgery, somebody has to drive you home. If you have problems with your fingers, like I do, someone has to squeeze that enema bottle for you. When you have rheumatoid arthritis like I do, and most of my clothes don't deal with buttons or zippers or things like that. They're all stretchy things that I can just pull on. But sometimes, there are shoestrings involved. Brushing your teeth sometimes may be hard, and you need somebody to do those things for you. Or you're sick and you need somebody to make doctor's appointments or cancel doctor's appointments. There's many things that we just cannot do for ourselves. Make your meals, personal hygiene, combing your own hair sometimes gets to be impossible for a lot of us, which is why I wear my hair slicked back in a ponytail so much, because it's the only thing that I can do myself. or when we do have spoons, we choose to use those spoons on things that we want to do. So mine may not necessarily be, I save spoons for makeup instead of hair. You know, when I do have spoons, I want to do things that bring me pleasure, and that may not be housework. So somebody has to do the housework. Okay, so then just think about the resentment that may build up. Okay, you're sitting there putting on makeup or playing video games while they're doing housework. There's two of us living here. Why am I the only person always doing housework? They may mentally or intellectually know that you're not capable of doing these things, but humans are much more than intellect. Sometimes our emotions are more than our intellect. And so even though they know that you can't wash dishes, it may be some resentment when, you know, you're doing things that you think is fun, and they've worked all day and went and picked up your prescriptions, and now they're doing the dishes after they made you dinner and had to bring it to you in bed. There's two sides to every story. So we need somebody to do these things, but it takes a very special kind of person to fill that